Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to Your Next Cast. You're just in time to see me do something that I haven't done in a while, and that's throw on a watermelon pearl yum dinger. In fact, I haven't fished in quite a while, and today just happened to be a really nice day. I was off from work. I've been watching a decent amount of basketball, as I would imagine a lot of you have. And if you saw my video on Monday that I released, I talked about why failure is not final. And today, I just came out to do some casting to talk about how to enjoy your next cast. So I hope the angle that I have is pretty good, but I wanted you to be able to see what I see. This is the place that I actually started out fishing when I first started here in Lake of the Woods. So this place is known as the Back Gate. A lot of people come fish here. It gets a lot of traffic, and I just wanted to come out here and see if I could get a bite. It's been a while since I've hooked into a fish, and so I'm excited to see what will happen. Hopefully I can keep this camera in place. But while we're fishing, I'm going to talk about the concept of learning to enjoy your next cast, or learning to enjoy casting. And kind of like last video, it's really a metaphor for life in whatever you're doing, whether you are a clothing maker, a video maker, a cupcake maker, whatever you might be. There's always going to be times where the process is not fun, where the process is not enjoyable. Whether you're trying to lose weight or be better at a relationship or do better at your job, there's going to be times where just the process itself is just not all that enjoyable. You know, we like the big moments. You know, if I could pull a big 5-pound bass out of here right now, like that would be a great thumbnail. You know, the audience would be super excited. Or if I could do like my good friend Tracy, Old Lady Angler, hey Ola, she recently caught a giant. I mean, I'm sorry to pause this video, but I just want to plug her in real quick. I'm gonna leave a link below to her channel. Go check out this monster bass that she recently caught. I mean, it's worth watching for sure. It's probably worth stopping this right now and go watch that. But just hold off for me just a little bit. Wow, did you see that cast? Hopefully you saw that. I'm going to talk about that in a second too. But with anything in life, whether you're trying to be better at football, basketball, soccer, whatever it might be, you've got to put in the reps. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the time. And that's essentially what's happening now. Like, I don't expect to catch a fish or a bunch of fish. If I did, that would be great. But this is more so, of course, just to make this video. But I often do this as well and don't make videos. I just come out and cast because it allows me to do a couple of things. Kind of like I talked about in last video, it allows me to get more familiar with a rod and reel that I might not be familiar with, or a lure that I might not be familiar with. And it allows me to work on my accuracy. So one of the things I'm going to talk about in the next video is how to maximize your next cast. But today it's just about learning to enjoy that process. And if you're going to be great at anything, you've got to enjoy just doing that right there, making the cast, doing the little work, the little steps that are needed for great success. So, you know, I've made thousands of casts in my life. I've only caught one 6-pound bass in my life, which is my personal best. So it's just kind of an indicator that you're going to do something thousands and thousands and thousands of times, but you might only have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe monumental moments that really stand out. But you got to put in that work to get that result. And so a lot of people many times just want the result. Like, they just want to come out, cast, and catch a big fish. Like, that's it, or catch fish every time. And as I talked about in last video, that's just not the norm. The norm is going to be this. The norm is going to be you're casting over and over again. Or maybe if you're a cat fisherman or fisherwoman, you're just going to cast out and let your line sink to the bottom and wait for that, you know, rod to start bending over when something is pulling it. But at any rate, still the majority of the time, you're not reeling in a fish on most cases. And so what has really helped me is I enjoy this process right here. I enjoy what many would consider the mundane or the unattractive part. And from everything I've heard from, you know, whether it's, you know, millionaire investors or great basketball players or football players, they'll tell you they fall in love with the details. They fall in love with the things that most people don't. And that's what makes them great, because they can do the little things really well. Like, that wasn't a good cast right there. But this is not a moment where, you know, that matters a whole lot. I still might get a fish. Instead, I got hung. Oh, that's not fantastic. I don't know how I get hung weedless. Oh, that's the stick's coming. You see that stick I grabbed? Hopefully you can see it. That's the good part about having this point of view. You can see the stick I'm about to pull through the water. But still, that happens. That's a part of the process. Every person who's watching this video that has ever fished has caught a stick multiple times. And I have certainly caught sticks multiple times. I just typically don't show them because you don't want to see me pulling a stick. But for the sake of this video, since I'm just, you know, making it unedited, that's what you're gonna see. There's our stick fish. So if we don't catch anything today, we at least got a stick. Hopefully that won't be the case. Hopefully we will get at least a bite. That would be really awesome. It's pretty warm today. It's been pretty warm this week, actually. So I'm excited to get back on the boat. I haven't set the boat up yet. To be honest with you, I've been pretty lazy in getting that done, or just procrastinated in getting that done. So I need to do that. But anyway, going back to the video of what we're talking about here, which is learning to enjoy the cast. Again, it's learn to do the little things well. That's what one thing I'm trying to teach my daughter now is, you know, you got to learn to enjoy those little things that most people don't like. That's what's going to separate you and make you great at whatever it is you're doing. The person who can learn to enjoy those little details and do those little details when it's hard are the people who we would consider great. But, you know, the interesting thing is we don't consider them great until they do something awesome, until they catch that 9-pound bass or that 11-pound bass, or, you know, until they have that video that goes viral and it gets like 7 million views. Like, that's when we start to say, oh man, they're great and awesome. But typically those people have been grinding for a long time. They've been doing the little details for a long time. And for those of you that do YouTube, you know it's very hard to stay consistent. When you're trying to upload videos consistently once or twice a week, it can get tough. But you still have to learn how to build a cadence, that was a pretty good cast. How to learn to, oh, I thought that was a bite. I think that might be a turtle. I think that's a turtle. Feels like a turtle. But anyway, YouTube can be a grind. That's why you oftentimes see channels take breaks or stop, or, you know, just quit altogether, just because it can get to be a task, if you will. And a lot of people get to the point where they just don't enjoy it anymore, and they stop. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you just decide, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. But if you're on the verge of that right now, and maybe you just need some encouragement, maybe this is the video for you. Maybe this is the video to say, hey, I know it's tough right now, but don't give up, don't quit, don't stop. You know, maybe take a pause, maybe take a break, but come back to it if it's something you really enjoy and it's something you're really passionate about. Because you're always gonna, you're never gonna get to the rewards you ultimately want if you stop. Which again goes back to the other video. If you stop, then that failure you might have is going to be final if you don't keep going. But if you keep going, I believe you will find success. And if nothing else, you will continue to grow as an individual. And that's what's really important. And so the other thing about learning to enjoy the cast is learning accuracy. So you see these rocks. I don't know if you can see this turtle. Let me try to see if the GoPro will capture it. There's a turtle on this rock right here. And then there's a little small opening to the right of it. What I'm going to try to do is actually hit that turtle. And then I'm going to try to hit that opening if I can as well. So hopefully you'll be able to see this if my GoPro will stay still long enough. The wind is blowing pretty good, but this is a really good test. So let's see what happens. Ooh. So you see how off I am? Like, I think I would have been closer, but the wind kind of drifted it because I'm throwing with this light line and this light lure. But that will help me in the future to know when I have wind, kind of how to adjust. I remember I used to do that playing basketball growing up, when we would always play outside, because that's all we had growing up was, you know, outdoor basketball. And so when the wind was blowing like this, you learn to adjust your shot a little bit for the wind. So let's try that again. Boom, we got there. We didn't hit him exactly, but it bounced right in front of him. He didn't even move either. I don't know if you can see this. I think my line might be around his, yep, see? Now this is bad because my line is actually around him. So if he dives in the water, or if he goes in his shell, look, he's got his left, you probably can't see this, he's got his left claw on my lure. Watch, I'm gonna pull him off into the water. Boom, there he goes. Well, you just watched me catch a turtle, because I think I got him hooked, unfortunately. and we're gonna reel them in and get them unhooked. Oh no, he let go. Whew, he let go. Yes, thank you, Lord. So what that allows me right now is some confidence. Even though I don't fish with this rod and reel all the time, tell you what, if you can put in the comments whose rod and whose reel this is that I'm fishing with, that tells me you watch this channel pretty frequently, and that will get you a prize at some point. Just put hashtag the name of whose this is. Even if you just watch a little bit, you can probably figure that out. But anyway, this video is getting longer than I thought it would. We almost caught a turtle. I'm gonna try to hit that hole real quick. But what I was gonna say is this builds confidence for when I'm out on the boat. GoPro keeps going down, and I really need to make an accurate, precise cast. You see that little guy? He's coming back up on the rock now. The rock I knocked him off of. He's been in the water, now he's back up on it again. So we're gonna try to now not hit him and try to slide in that hole, because that is a place where a fish should be. And it's gonna be a little bit difficult to do it from this angle, but I'm gonna try to at least get there. Ooh, that's way off. It's way off. All right, let's try that again. So I'm gonna keep fishing here a little bit, but remember, if you're sewing, if you're crafting, if you're painting, that was just way off. I don't even know what I was aiming at right there. Whatever it is you might be doing, understand that every profession, every hobby has some aspect of it that doesn't seem desirable or seems unattractive. Working out certainly can be arduous when you don't want to get up, you don't want to wake up in the morning, or you're sweating and you don't want to be, or your thighs are burning. Or your hamstrings are burning from running or lunges. Ooh, that was not a great cast. That did not go in the water well at all. It made too much of a splash. But anyway, that is going to happen. That is a part of life, is a part of the journey. I want to encourage you to learn to enjoy, learn to love your next cast, or your next adventure, or your next project, whatever it might be. Trust me, the rewards will pay off. Well, everybody, that's all I got for you tonight. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy March Madness. Just side note, I had New Mexico State beating UConn. I was so excited last night when it happened. My bracket was still good. But then, of course, Kentucky lost. And then I also had Indiana, which I don't know why I picked Indiana over St. Mary's. But anyway, I digress. I hope you have a good day and a good night. We will see you next time right here on your next cast. That was still bad. We're gonna keep practicing.